The federal government has directed all tertiary institutions to submit reports on unutilized TETFund allocations within 30 days. It warned that idle funds will be reallocated and officials who defaulted will be sanctioned. Minister of Education Tunji Alausa issued a directive at a stakeholders meeting organized by the Federal Ministry of Education at the TETFund headquarters in Abuja. The meeting brought together heads of tertiary institutions, bursars, and TETFund officials to address challenges in fund utilization. The minister decried stalled project caused by bureaucracy. He said some allocations dating back to 1964 remain unused, a situation he described as unacceptable.
The important meeting is for us to talk and come up with solutions. We've had this kind of meetings before, and they've been very successful. When we identify issues, we were very good. We will positively discuss those issues and come up with solutions that will be implemented, solutions that are implementable, and that will begin to start seeing results quickly. And this meeting is carefully designed. I've spoken to the Auditor General of the Federation, Mr. Shaka, to personally come, as well as the DG of the Public Procurement to come as well. It centers around TETFund. We have significant unutilized amount of funds that have been allocated to institutions since 1994. We've taken count from 1994 to 2024. We're not going to be talking about the 2012-25 intervention funds. No doubt, we all agree, TETFund has rescued tertiary institutions. But then, we as a government were very mindful that every resource that government deploys to education must be immediately used. It must be immediately used. It's very counterintuitive to have these funds logged in your various institutions account in every single country of the world. Government, the federal government of that country, is the biggest stimulator of the economy.
The minister announced new measures which included capacity building programs and quarterly reviews to strengthen compliance. He said the public dashboard will enhance transparency, while institutions must follow due process or risk losing access to funds. A representative of Permanent Secretary of TETFund, Rakiyah Iliyasu, described the meeting as a call to action. She urged universities, polytechnics and colleges of education to ensure every naira released translates into visible improvement on campuses nationwide.
We have to sincerely express our gratitude to Mr. President or all the present, and also the TETFund itself, the BOT, the management, because although TETFund is an intervention agency, some they consider it as a funding. It's not a funding agency. It's an interventionist agency. However, this intervention is putting a lot to our higher institutions in terms of infrastructure, capacity development for staff, conferences, and even to the student, because some students on workshops, conferences, and even teaching practice are being supported by this fund. However, there are issues when it comes to access of the fund. Remember, these funds are not given to the institutions. Only the awards are given. And also there are guidelines on how these funds are being accessed. And once that guidelines are not met, that money cannot be accessed. And the money will remain in the coffers of the fund. So this doesn't mean that the higher institutions or the head of institutions are not utilizing this money, or they are keeping this money. These monies are not at all with the institutions. However, we know that there are certain cases whereby, in the terms of the procurement, there could be issues. However, there are simple, cogent guidelines always being accompanied with any award by TETFund. Any award TETFund is given, it will also accompany that award with the guidelines on how the money can be assessed. And these guidelines are simple procurement processes, whereby first, because TETFund is not only giving the money, but also it is supervising.
CBN News reports that as the meeting concluded, stakeholders agreed that effective fund utilization required shared responsibility. They also agreed that institutional heads, bursars, auditors and TETFund must work together to enforce discipline, accountability and timely delivery.